My boss is hooked on love again, wants to date and get married. Me, consider it done. The list of rich socialites and heiresses was full of all types, each with their own thing going on. I was spoiled for choice, but my boss looked annoyed. Why aren't you on this list? You pay me peanuts and you want me to sell my body and soul too? No can do, boss. My boss went to a wedding. Came back saying, I want to date and get married. The old bachelor is finally blooming. So, Joanna, what do you think? I was thrilled, and said with certainty. Simon, you should have thought about this a long time ago. As my personal secretary, shouldn't you? I get it. After knowing Simon for years, I knew exactly what he was thinking just by looking at him. I thumped my chest and promised Simon. Your happiness for the rest of your life is on me. Simon was half skeptical, but my determined look, showing I was all in, convinced him. I immediately grabbed my notebook and interviewed Simon like a pro. Simon, what are your standards for a partner? Anything. My movements froze, and my flattering smile instantly stiffened. Seriously, Simon, you're trying to mess with me, right? So, is the cleaning lady at our company okay? I have to say this messed up thing today. Joanna, is that your work attitude? How about you switch jobs with the cleaning lady? That was a killer move. I didn't dare say another word. I quickly went to organize the blind date list for Simon. But there are thousands of eligible women in the city. Looking for a blind date for Simon without a clear direction was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. In the following days, I was in and out of Simon's office a lot. Just to subtly figure out his ideal type. Unexpectedly, the crazy rumors in the company started spreading again. Simon and Joanna are flirting all day. When are they going public? Going public? Their relationship isn't the kind that can go public. It's that kind of relationship. I personally heard Joanna asking Simon for money. In the restroom, people were gossiping up a storm. Someone was taking a paid poop and still got constipated from being so angry. I pulled up my pants and burst out of the door. I'm just a humble 9-to-5er, is asking for a raise too much? My colleagues were caught off guard and ran away in a hurry. I chased after them, explaining, I'm only after Simon's money, not him. To keep my reputation clean, I had to get Simon's blind dates on the agenda ASAP. And I subtly made sure everyone knew he was going on blind dates. Then the receptionist let it slip and told me the rumors in the company had changed again. They're saying you're willingly being the woman behind Simon, not looking to move up. Low EQ, the other woman who's being kept. High EQ, the woman behind him. The art of language. At this point, I couldn't worry about it anymore, just went straight to the blind dates. Based on the ranking of quality women on the list, I confidently set up a blind date for Simon. But the first one ended in complete failure. She wasn't into you? As the main planner of Simon's first blind date experience, I had to know why it failed. Simon stammered, I guess so. I looked over Simon's perfect face again and again. That doesn't make sense. What did you guys talk about? She immediately asked if I wanted to go to her place to see her cat. I had a faint bad feeling. Who do you look down on? I have my own cat. Hearing that, my high heel twisted, and I had to grab the table to steady myself. In just a few words, I didn't even know where to start complaining. Personally, I think these are some really dumb things to do. But the fact that Simon is like this today must be because I didn't guide him well. Okay, watch closely, I'm only teaching this once. Without further ado, I did a live demonstration. Showed Simon a textbook example. With years of experience reading romance novels, flirting tips just flowed out of me. Just smirk, then roughly but gently grab her waist. I demonstrated on myself. Then whisper in her ear, holding back, be good, smile for me, I'd give you my life. Imagining that scene, it was really cheesy and over the top. But Simon didn't appreciate it. Instead, he scoffed at my good intentions. When you were discharged from the hospital, I was strongly against it. Simon, how can you talk like that? Simon sighed and shook his head in disdain repeatedly. I actually thought I could learn something from you. Looking down on me, huh? I'll show Simon right now how amazing I am. For Simon's second blind date, I attended as his secretary. A blind date with 3 people, as long as I'm not awkward, they will be. Just pretend I'm not here. The next second, Simon really acted like I wasn't there, clinking glasses with the beauty like a gentleman. MU does high-end jewelry, so, do you have any styles that would suit me? I was screaming inside, compliment her. Quickly compliment her. Say every style suits her. As long as you make the beauty happy, this might just work out. Our company's featured products this quarter are great. If you buy a lot, I can give you a discount. Something felt off. Why did it feel like a business meeting? I coughed twice, reminding Simon to stop. Joanna has a sore throat? Drink more hot water. My enthusiasm was limited. I advised Simon to figure it out himself. Then the beauty said, good jewelry really enhances a person's temperament. Simon nodded in agreement. So are you going to buy? I'll give you a discount. Having a boss so dedicated to sales was truly my good fortune. I heard that high-end jewelry is a very profitable industry. You could tell the beauty was trying hard to make conversation. But my boss, who has a work-related illness, was completely clueless about romance. Not really, if you think it's expensive, I can give you a discount. This kid Simon is really stubborn. Always talking about jewelry, always mentioning discounts. Discount, Simon, believe it or not, I'll break your leg. Cough cough, Simon, you're off topic. Hearing those words made me feel like my heart was being ripped out, scratching my ears and cheeks, and grieving bitterly. But I was coughing so hard I was almost spitting up blood, and I still couldn't stop this weirdo Simon from promoting. Simon continued to ignore me and started talking about the design concept of this quarter's featured product. I watched with my own eyes as the expression on the beauty's face became more and more awkward. Arranged blind dates with no common topics are probably like this. I couldn't take it anymore and slammed the table. Simon, this is a blind date, stop talking about work all the time. Aren't I just sharing my life? Seeing the blind date about to fail again, he still wouldn't change. I almost forgot, Simon, this workaholic, his work is his life. But it still made me clench my fists in anger. This is a blind date, talk more about the other person. Simon was stunned for a moment and looked kind of slow. Then I realized he really was slow. Madam, although the diamond on your necklace isn't visibly fake, I'm pretty sure it's moissanite. Those overseas shoppers scammed you. Simon, coming from a family of high-end jewelry, his eyes are like magnifying glasses. However, you shouldn't show off this professional skill on a blind date. Didn't you see the beauty looked like she wanted to dig a hole in the ground with her toes? Giving up, huh? Then I will too. I cleared my throat and abruptly started a new topic. Beautiful lady, can you accept a short-term relationship? The beauty shook her head, confused. Well, our Simon said he can't let one woman monopolize him for too long. The beauty's face suddenly changed. Huh? I nodded helplessly. Because that's unfair to the other women who admire him. Let me be the bad guy to fix this awkward situation. The beauty finally couldn't help but stand up and curse. What a turn off, really a turn off. Simon's handsome face successfully received a glass of cold water. Tonight, this city had 3 people who couldn't sleep. Fall where you fall, just lie there. I decided to set up another blind date for Simon. The other person is a third-tier actress. I don't need to say much about her looks and vibe, right? They say there's a wall between celebrities and ordinary people. I guess this actress's looks and figure were definitely outstanding enough. As for Simon, I looked Simon up and down and came to a conclusion. I think your blind date failures aren't because of your looks, but your vibe. They say details determine success or failure. Casually showing off a Rolls-Royce key on your waist, it's these little details that change your vibe. I generously paid up, cough cough, paid from Simon's wallet. I prepared an outfit for him that would kill it with everyone, young and old, and is timeless. Once a man is over 20, he shouldn't dress like a kid anymore. Put on a big gold chain, a big gold watch, and some loafers. The trendy young man vibe just kicks in. But because he has a handsome face, this outfit still made Simon look somewhat attractive. I gave him a thumbs up and praised Simon to the heavens. "Simon, you're so handsome, won't you totally charm that girl?" However, Simon tried to resist. "What kind of taste is this? If you can't win her over dressed like this, consider it my loss. Lose, then lose. It's not like I'm the one who'll get weird looks anyway." But I clearly underestimated the intelligence of wicked capitalists. "If you lose, how about I deduct a month's salary? Play is play, joke is joke, don't mess with my salary." As long as capitalists who deduct salary at the drop of a hat aren't overthrown, they will definitely be a major problem for us workers. I suddenly feel like, maybe I don't need to wear those fatally charming loafers. But the big gold chain, the big gold watch, Simon, you can't take them off. I called it, I'm doing this for your own good. Never make yourself suffer, never make Simon happy. That's always been my motto as a helpful little secretary. Simon looked at his nouveau riche-like outfit in the mirror, his mouth twitching a few times. Although your starting point is good, the mistake is that you started at all. My heart ached. The image of an innocent official repeatedly doubted and suspected by the ruler was born. "Simon. Your humble servant is absolutely loyal to you." I cupped my hands seriously with my left hand. I wished I could take out my conscience, whether it existed or not, and show it to Simon. But Simon just glanced at me indifferently. "If I get wet in the rain, I don't need to be told, you must have torn up my umbrella." It's over, my image as a villainous official has deeply rooted in Simon's heart. How can I regain my ruler's trust? Waiting online, it's urgent. Seeing is believing, this time the actress didn't disappoint, at least in appearance. Like a matchmaker, I worked hard to set them up. This is Simon, the CEO of MU, and this is Selena, an actress. I heard there's some controversy about Selena's age, that she was born in 1992, is that true? Who asks about someone's age right away? I subtly kicked Simon under the table. Gritting my teeth, I said, "Simon, you're being a bit rude. I personally think being honest is important on a blind date." "It seems, there's nothing wrong with that." The actress coughed awkwardly. "I think age isn't a problem when two people are together." "Two people, are you sure? Shouldn't it be three? What does three people mean? Is Simon hinting at me? Should I leave? What a passive-aggressive guy." I got up angrily but was pulled back down by Simon. "Not talking about you." The actress looked a little guilty and ran away in a hurry. "Okay, now it's two people. See, you scared another one away." My anger was about to burn down the whole restaurant. "Do you know who this is?" I hesitated before answering, third-tier actress Selena. Correction, and Bob's current girlfriend. Bob, our company's VP. Didn't expect them to hide it so well, city people really know how to have fun. The next day, Simon and the actress were trending. Actress and rich second-generation spotted dining together, rich second-generation collector living up to her name. So, she's not just Bob's girlfriend, but also a serial dater of rich second generations. The actress's studio quickly responded unilaterally. "Please focus on the artist's work, stay away from her private life, and refuse candid shots and stalking." According to the rules of celebrity PR, not denying it means admitting it. Damn it, where are my oxygen machine and quick-acting heart medication? Before I could even recover, Simon's mom stormed into the company. "Auntie, listen to me, it's not what you think. Joanna, you don't need to cover for that brat. I'm going to beat him until he's picking up his teeth from the floor." Simon's family is very strict and absolutely forbids him from getting involved with actresses who have a bad reputation. So, Simon's mom looked like she was about to rush in and kill Simon. But if she went in from here, I'd have to go out from here. Oh no, you mustn't do that. Wait a minute. Why do I feel like that eunuch trying to stop the Empress Dowager from going after the incompetent emperor? Never mind, just stop her. Just as I was desperately trying to stop Simon's mom, the office door opened a crack. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw that jerk Simon smiling at me mischievously through the gap. He really anticipated this day, but he didn't say anything. Although Simon was lectured by his mom for a long time in the end. But that was far from enough to vent my anger. I immediately posted a picture of Simon's back on a second-hand online marketplace. Selling a boss who's too much of a jerk to deal with, slight flaws, price is negotiable. Buyer, what are the flaws? In front of the screen, I smirked and immediately decided to hit him hard and ruin his reputation. Not great, you know. Buyer, Joanna, you have 1 minute to get to my office. Bad news, slandered the boss, got caught by the boss. Good news, used to it, yay. Humph, it's almost time to get off work, I'm not going, let him be anxious. Seeing that I wasn't replying, Simon messaged me again. Joanna, it's all a misunderstanding, I'll be right there. Only my body bows down, my burning soul always holds its head high. No, my body can't bow down either. I walked into Simon's office without fear, head held high like a young pioneer who had just helped an old lady cross the street. What do you want? Hurry up, I'm almost off work. Clock in on time, leave on time. This little salary isn't worth me staying an extra minute. My mom gave me 50 million for wedding funds, and I have to get married this year. 50 million, what's that concept? Based on my current salary plus year-end bonus, without eating, drinking, or spending. I'd have to start working from the last century. I didn't hear anything else Simon said, my mind was just on the 50 million. Joanna, I'm talking to you. Why are you yelling so loud? Your sister got it. Simon checked the time, sure enough, it was past quitting time. You have to separate work and personal life. During work hours, Simon is my respected boss. But after work, Simon is my childhood friend, the unlucky guy. At Simon's urging, I casually arranged a blind date for him. But the girl started right away with, Joanna, after all these years, are you still sticking to Simon like a piece of gum? I felt her strong hostility towards me. But I was really confused, she sounded like she had known me for a long time. Who are you? Simon, standing nearby, calmly said, Lisa. What? My arch-enemy Lisa. In school, Lisa suspected that I had a crush on her undeveloped and unattractive male idol. When my family went bankrupt, she kicked me while I was down, and on top of that, she secretly slandered my reputation. She said I was stringing along her male idol on one hand, and being ambiguous with Simon on the other. As a result, the whole school knew I was a flirty player. Today, enemies meet, and our eyes were red with anger. Seeing my former enemy doing well, my back teeth were grinding. Didn't you used to be called Lily? I couldn't for the life of me connect the beauty in front of me with the Lisa in my memory. Oh. I see, plastic surgery and a name change, right? Good one, Lisa. Call me Lily. I made a face. Nah, won't do it. Not only that, I was going to make her even more angry. I grabbed Simon's arm and leaned intimately on his shoulder. Squeezing my voice, I forced out a cutesy tone. Simon. She's so mean, how could she be worthy of you? Lily stomped her foot in anger. She yelled, gross. As soon as Lily left, my gentle face changed. I don't approve of this marriage. I'll find you someone better, 1,000,000 times better than her. The next day, Lily, wearing heavy makeup, came to the company to bring Simon some pastries. Clearly she had ulterior motives. I stopped her in a businesslike manner. Excuse me, Simon doesn't eat sweets. Lisa just walked around me. It's okay, I also brought savory cheese crackers, Simon will definitely like them. I rushed forward and blocked the door again, stopping her once more. Sorry, Simon has no sense of taste, nothing tastes good to him. As for when he lost his sense of taste, well, right now. Since I'm already here, I'll just say hi to Simon. Lisa insisted on barging in, so I desperately blocked her. As a result of the pushing and shoving, back and forth, I accidentally knocked Lisa's fake nose crooked. Looking at her deformed nose, I saw several $1,000s of debt beckoning to me. Afterward, Lisa did indeed extort several $1,000s from me, adding insult to injury to my already not-so-rich family. My savings were already minimal, and now I was so poor I couldn't even afford meat. I shamelessly and weakly asked, "Boss, can the company reimburse me?" "No reimbursement, and this is your personal matter." Hearing that I couldn't get reimbursed, my anger flared up. If it weren't for you, would I have met Lisa? Fighting is a bad behavior. You should be happy I'm not firing you. I was furiously angry, but this was all to protect your reputation, Simon. So, you, the wicked capitalist, get to say whatever you want, huh? I was wondering why you were living a peaceful life. Turns out I was bearing the weight for you. No way, I can't just swallow this. I'm going to get revenge. I found someone on the list who was said to have the worst case of princess syndrome. For no other reason than to give Simon a unique blind date experience. But she didn't show up. Instead, a muscular guy came. Simon questioned me with his eyes. What's going on? I shook my head blankly. This wasn't according to the plan either. I'm here for my sister's blind date, do you mind? A powerful and booming voice assaulted my brain cells. I suspected they were doing something new and weird. Indeed, she must be a princess to have someone else go on a blind date for her. Blind dates can be substituted? You guys are really too. The muscular guy's face turned cold, and he immediately showed off his strong biceps. Too creative, so awesome. Simon was amazed at how quickly I chickened out. Then the muscular guy impatiently said, "Let's go through the motions." There's no need for that. Simon grabbed me and was about to leave. You can't give up just because things get tough. After a passionate sales pitch from me, I successfully made the muscular guy fall in love with my boss. Yes, you didn't misread that. This person who looks like a muscular guy, but is actually a manly older lady, is hitting on my boss. Someone, please be kind and dig a hole for me. I would jump in without hesitation. After narrowly escaping, Simon was mentally drained and severely weakened. He pointed at me, too angry to speak several times. I spread my hands helplessly. How can you blame me? You're the one who attracted him. There was nothing wrong with that statement. Joanna, your ability to get things done is truly not to be underestimated. Look on the bright side, your charm appeals to both men and women. Simon mouthed the word scram to me. I actually did want to scram, but I couldn't lose my job. To end my suffering quickly, I arranged blind dates for Simon back to back. But Simon's blind dates failed again and again, without exception. There were only a few blind dates left on the list. From successful independent women in their 40s to beautiful college students in their 20s. I've found all kinds for you, what exactly do you want? I looked at the beautiful, fair-skinned lady with long legs on the list for 3 minutes. In those 3 minutes, I was smitten 28 times. But this kid Simon's heart was completely unmoved. Could you be a... Stop right there, put away your absurd thoughts, thanks for cooperating. This won't do, that won't do either. My patience was completely gone. Moo, you are really hard to please. I'm not dealing with finding you a partner anymore. Simon stared at me silently for a long time. His eyes were so sad, it looked like he was about to cry. Are you faking it again? Simon lowered his eyes and stopped looking at me. Actually, I've been hurt in love. There's actually a woman Simon couldn't get. I immediately covered my mouth in shock and widened my eyes, eager to know more. First love or the one you couldn't have? Are you sure it's over? Simon sighed sadly. She was in love with someone else. OMG, I actually got the juicy gossip about my boss. This is something I can brag about for the rest of my life. I just got over a heartbreak recently and want to be in a relationship that leads to marriage. Punish me however you want, but don't hurt me with talk of feelings. My head got hot, and I thumped my chest again, making loud sounds. Don't worry, I'll definitely help you with your lifelong happiness as soon as possible. Thinking about what happened today in the middle of the night, I got up and slapped myself. How could I say mean things to a close friend of many years who was emotionally hurt? I'm such a terrible person. To make up for it, I worked until dawn. From 100 quality women, I picked one that I thought was most suitable for Simon. I yawned and put the girl's profile in front of Simon. The next blind date is tonight at 7, I've arranged everything for you. Looks like you're quite anxious for me to find love. Simon didn't even look at the profile I carefully organized. I get it, he must not be over his heartbreak yet. The girl's name is Mandy, she's a psychology researcher who studied abroad, she'll definitely be able to handle you. By then, let alone heartbreak, all his emotional trauma would be healed. Mandy? The real estate mogul's daughter? She's back. Yes, that's her. I felt like there was a chance this time. Okay, but you have to go with me this time. What if it's another guy? As the saying goes, once bitten by a snake, you'll be scared of ropes for 10 years. The past is too painful to recall, so I could only nod in agreement. However, this blind date went surprisingly smoothly. It seemed like Mandy was interested in getting to know Simon further. This looks promising. My mission is finally about to be completed. Simon seems like a very perfect person. Wow, this girl is even better at buttering people up than I am, and I'm a seasoned professional. Simon praised her, thank you, you're also very beautiful. Looks like the careful guidance these past few days wasn't wasted. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was almost moved to tears of joy. If I had to mention a flaw, it would be that due to some unexpected accidents, there are some physical deficiencies. Dude, you just had your appendix removed, why make it sound so scary? And some deficiencies, are you missing a brain? Beautiful lady, don't misunderstand, Simon just had his appendix removed. Can't carry him, really can't carry him. This blind date really wouldn't work without me. Soon after, the beauty took a call and left, and I immediately hit Simon with a shocker. When you had your appendix removed, did you also get rid of your peanut-sized brain? Don't mind me, I'm on a rampage. I was just telling the truth. For a moment, this little genius with a silver tongue, couldn't think of anything to say back. Thankfully, after the beauty returned, she and Simon exchanged IDs. In the following days, Simon, the workaholic, didn't even come to the company. He even told me to announce that he was out for a business meeting, but I didn't believe him for a second. After all, before, when he went out for business meetings, he would always bring me, his secretary. I secretly sighed, this lovesick guy is really crazy when he's in love. When I saw Simon again, he was completely radiant. Simon really seems to be absolutely glowing with love. I'm not jealous, I just have a sharp tongue. This time, Simon was surprisingly not argumentative with me. My happiness is beyond your imagination. I sighed sadly. I don't envy lovers or immortals, I just envy Simon every single day. He has money, looks, and a beauty by his side. Joanna, but you don't look very happy. Simon's happiness comes from Ms. He, my happiness comes from promotions, raises, and vacations. I'm just an ordinary working person. Too shallow, you need to have dreams, you know. The workplace version of why don't they eat cake? Having a boss who's lovesick and doesn't understand the hardships of life, I really don't know what to say. The next day, as soon as I entered the company, I noticed everyone looking at me weirdly. What are you guys looking at? The receptionist said the future Mrs. Mu had arrived. Turns out, everyone wanted to see how I would act humble in front of the legitimate partner. Then, I saw Mandy come out of the elevator. Under everyone's gaze, I walked over proactively and nodded with a sweet smile. Hello. Being sweet-talked is one of my few advantage. Watch me charm the future boss lady of MU. I just heard Simon mention that you two are childhood sweethearts. My sixth sense told me danger was quietly approaching. But I think at your age, you should keep some distance, Joanna, don't you agree? She was so gentle that I actually felt sorry for her. Even though there was nothing going on between me and Simon. I'll go on a business trip today and give you two enough alone time. Once I leave, I won't be back for at least 10 days to half a month. If that doesn't work, you can just kill me to add some excitement for the happy couple. Of course, if you want to settle down over there, that's also a good option. It's over, the future CEO's wife is going to drive me out of the city. The last bit of smile on my face gradually disappeared. Maybe, don't you think you're being a bit much? Mandy handed me a card. There's 5 million in this card. When you're in a foreign place, take good care of yourself. As expected of the future boss lady of MU, she's really generous. Firing an employee and even giving a 5 million resettlement fee. No need for the money, I'll leave. But this is my home, I'll still come back. This money felt too hot to handle. If people found out, they might say it was severance pay from her. That would ruin my reputation, and it's really not worth it. Isn't it just a job? I'm so capable, I can shine just as brightly somewhere else. I quietly slipped my resignation into a folder and decided to take a spontaneous trip. On the plane leaving, I just dozed off for a bit. How come the person sitting next to me is Simon? I murmured to myself, I must be opening my eyes the wrong way, I'm dreaming. I lay down and slept again, but when I opened my eyes, it was still Simon. I was stunned, what's going on? As you can see, I'm on the same plane as you now. Listening to you talk is like listening to you talk. Coincidence doesn't take the blame, tell me, what's going on? But Simon didn't answer my question, instead, he asked one back. As the person in charge of the project for my happiness for the rest of my life, isn't it unprofessional to try to run away before the job is done? I didn't take your money, so what if I run away? I've never been so justified in my life, I'm in the right, so what am I afraid of? But Simon handed me a black card, claiming it could do anything. Now you have. Why does everyone want to give me money? I pretended to be reserved and politely refused, that's not really appropriate. Don't you want to revitalize your we? Giving up before you even started? You know me well, Simon. To be honest, I've long wanted to revive my dad's clothing company. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough startup capital, so I could only stay by Simon's side as a low-key secretary. And now, the opportunity for my family to make a comeback has finally arrived. As soon as we got off the plane, we were waiting to board the return flight. I didn't get to see the blue sky, white clouds, and sea I dreamed of, or the guys with abs sunbathing on the beach. But I did get a one-day plane trip in the air. In the VIP lounge, I couldn't help but repeatedly touch the card Simon gave me. Is this a card? This is the startup capital for we. By the way, how much money is in there? 50 million. 50 million? That number sounds familiar. Are you sure this money isn't your wedding startup fund? It's the money I saved up for a wife over the past 2 years. This money felt too hot to handle, so I quickly returned it to Simon. Simon stubbornly shoved it back to me. If I give it to you, just take it. Why so much nonsense? Are you crazy? If I take it, how will you get married? I've never seen anyone stick up for a friend like this before. I don't even have a girlfriend, no need to rush into marriage. You broke up with Mandy? Already? I spoke quickly, my voice even breaking with urgency. You're thinking too much. I just used the blind date as an excuse to see her. Seeing me still looking silly, Simon explained. Her family had a building for sale that was very popular. I negotiated the deal for you during the days I wasn't at work. I was shocked and widened my eyes. Then why did she try to drive me away? She was just messing with you. Otherwise, why do you think I'd be here? Wait a minute, let me get this straight. So, Simon and that Mandy weren't dating, they were just talking about a partnership? And, Simon spent the money he saved for a wife on me? I instantly felt like I was burdened with thousands of pounds of debt. Why are you doing so much for me? I've been simmering this porridge for over 20 years, and because I can't bear to, I haven't taken a single bite. Porridge? What kind of porridge takes 20 years to cook? At this moment, Simon's gaze towards me suddenly became tender. I can't just let someone else take the pot and the bowl in the end, right? This is the first time I've heard someone use porridge as a metaphor for the woman they're confessing to. What a clueless guy. I hadn't even recovered from Simon's subtle confession yet. Simon started questioning me again. So why weren't you on the blind date list you organized for me? Simon only pays me this little, and he wants to use my off-duty time for blind dates? Humph, wicked capitalist, don't even think about it. In that case, then you don't need to be my subordinate anymore. I vaguely sensed what Simon was going to say next. Joanna, as the CEO of MU, I officially inform you that you are fired. Boo-hoo, I got fired by my boss, I'm not happy. But, my boss took out his wife fund to start a company for me. I went back to MU to go through the resignation procedures and hand over my secretarial work. But as soon as I entered the company, I was surrounded by my colleagues. Joanna, you weren't really fired by Simon, were you? Did the future Mrs. Mu put pressure on Simon? Joanna, even without Simon, you have to live well. Joanna, I'm going to miss you. I packed my things without saying a word. Seeing this, my colleagues got even more excited. They surrounded me, chattering endlessly. They only quieted down when Simon arrived. I looked at Simon and once again raised my proud head. Once I leave, this company will probably fall apart. Mind your own company, you don't need to worry about mine. Joanna is starting a company? What exactly is going on? My colleagues, who couldn't even understand the gossip, were all stunned. However, an even more dramatic scene unfolded. Simon took the cardboard box from my hand and led me into the elevator with the other hand. The elevator doors slowly closed, and from then on, there was no longer a Joanna at MU. There was only Joanna of We. At 22 years old, fully funded registered a clothing company. Registered capital 50 million renminbi, not relying on parents or friends, all thanks to my boss. Legal representative, Simon, absolute controlling shareholder, Joanna. I'm the beneficiary, and you're the scapegoat. This is a solid win for me. My smug face was completely obvious. Don't get too happy too soon. If it goes bankrupt in a year, I'll be nagging you for a lifetime. Nag me for a lifetime, then so be it. At least I tried my best for it. But if I go bankrupt, your wife fund will be gone down the drain. Anyway, it was originally for you, do whatever you want with it. Having a boyfriend like this means I'm set for life. On the day my clothing company was established, Simon specially condescended to come and support me. Simon, can you please smile a bit more? You need to be more cheerful. With so many people around, only Simon had a grumpy face. The CEO of We, Joanna herself, was very unhappy. Sorry, Joanna, I can't smile. Simon continued to have a grumpy face, not giving me any face at all. Don't make me slap you on the happiest day. Simon's grumpy face still didn't ease up. Why did your company collaborate with so many male models? My main focus this quarter is men's trendy clothing, unlike your MU. I pouted, almost rolling my eyes up to the sky. What's wrong with MU? Heh, he actually had the nerve to ask me what was wrong? As a former employee, I have something to say about this. During promotion periods, it's all beautiful women. There are only a few male models, I've been tired of seeing them for a long time. Someone's face turned even darker. Is my mouth picked up from a sewage ditch? 1 year later. high-end jewelry brand MU and niche clothing company. We collaborated to create a fashion show. I provided the clothes, Simon provided the jewelry. Nominally, it was about mutual benefit and winning together. In reality, it was the pinnacle of jewelry openly supporting a beginner in the clothing industry. During the show preparations, my flattering and fawning attitude was well known throughout MU. Before, I was timid and had to think twice before entering Simon's office. Now I sway my hips and walk in confidently in high heels. Simon. I'm back again. My restless hands wandered over Simon's face. Former employee, please show some self-respect. The refusal was just for show, he didn't really mean it. Just a typical move by an arrogant man. Simon, you're being too formal. Although I'm not an employee of MU anymore, our relationship as superior and subordinate is still there. We only have a superior-subordinate relationship? That's a good question, a brilliant question, but I'm not answering it. But then Simon, that pervert, took the opportunity to touch my hand. And asked if I was cold. Workplace harassment, I finally encountered it. But for the sake of my budding career, I could only swallow my pride and quietly pull my hand back. But Simon's actions became more and more out of line. I stood up indignantly and righteously accused him. Simon, are you being fair to Mrs. Mu by doing this? Simon was stunned for 2 seconds, his eyes looking lost and blank. But he quickly returned to his scoundrel nature. Don't worry, she's at working right now, she won't find out. Come on, give me a kiss. Simon put his arm around the back of my head, trying to kiss me, and I frantically dodged. Simon, please don't be like this, I'm a married woman. But Simon, this pervert, wouldn't listen to me. He actually just picked me up and held me in his arms. When Bob came in, I was still half resisting Simon's advances. Fiercely resisting. Seeing Bob, I panicked and broke free, looking like a victim. But Bob didn't hold back and immediately exposed us. He couldn't help but complain, you two are really playing some kinky games. I gave Simon a coy glance. Simon, you can't do this again next time, or I'll tell your mom. Simon cooperated and gave an okay gesture. Bob, however, looked disgusted and helpless. I just came to deliver the model list, why do I have to suffer through this? Huh? Model list? This is good stuff, I should definitely take a look. Simon, I'll take the first look. I was so engrossed that I blurted out, oh my, these abs are so. Cough cough, hold it in, absolutely cannot say it. I secretly told myself, you're married now, be subtle, be composed. I cleared my throat and elegantly tapped the table. 3 minutes, I want all the information on this man. Subtle enough, right? Bob rolled his eyes and quietly exited our little world. The tenderness in Simon's eyes was replaced by speechlessness. I was just kidding, you're so sensitive. I'm never sensitive. I was about to give examples to expose Simon. But he silently picked up the fashion show proposal. We might need to change the clothing collaboration company for this show. I had to swallow my anger and was forced to admit he wasn't sensitive. And I even offered him a kiss to finally appease him. On the day the fashion show started, Simon gave me a set of jewelry, claiming it was MU's featured product this quarter. My face turned red, this old Mu is actually quite romantic. Are you trying to say that I'm your best model? The model responsible for this set of jewelry had a flight delay, that's all. I was so angry. I wasted my time for nothing. The outfit I prepared for you matches mine, it's a couple's outfit. Simon corrected me seriously, it's a husband and wife outfit. I waved my hand. Stop messing around, I'm being serious here. But, are you sure you're not just using me for publicity? This past year, whenever Simon attended public events, he wore clothes designed by we. Every style he wore became a bestseller afterward. Although I had a little bit of a selfish motive today, this time it's a husband and wife outfit. Mu, are we just about business between us? I looked like I was about to say, do you really want to see the disappointment in my eyes? Husband and wife conflict finally erupted. Business, what business? Doesn't your conscience hurt? Why does he look so wronged? After we got married, the largest amount I received from you was 20. All lovesick people, rise up and bow to ancestor Simon. You're truly an insatiable greedy man. This kind of greedy man, how could I dare to marry him? What would the whole village think of me? I'm an only child, I can't lose face like this. After the fashion show ended, MU's official Weibo immediately posted photos of this quarter's featured product. It was indeed the set of top-tier luxury jewelry worth tens of millions that I wore. Not for sale, only one piece in the world, just for Simon's wife of MU to wear and play with. What is this incredible spoiling? I learned something new. This is how capitalists publicly express their love. 1 second I was still sulking. The next second, I was so moved that I hugged Simon, twisted up like a pretzel. I really love you so much. Are you schizophrenic? Simon, always refusing to be touched. I don't know what terrible things I did in my past life, but in this life, I have a husband who has no romance. Sigh, what can I do? Just make do, can't exactly get a divorce, right? I said I'd be responsible for Simon's happiness for the rest of his life. I can't actually bail, can I? So, my boss finally got his wish to date and get married. To me.